When I think about what I want in a dream desk, I imagine something clean and minimal. It also needs to look cool, like this mountain design featuring epoxy diffused LED lights. For ergonomic reasons and for comfort, I want an integrated iMac stand that puts my computer at the ideal viewing height. I also want hidden wireless charging for my devices, and it's very important to me to have the ability to switch between sitting and standing while I work. This desk uses an easy-to-assemble IKEA base that raises with the push of a button. I also use a lot of SD memory cards, so I want quick and easy storage for all of those. This desk has all those features and more, so stick around and let's see how I put this all together. The whole desk is made from 1.5" thick soft maple, and here you see me cutting everything down to size to make the 2 side panels that comprise this desk. And here's a quick drawing so you can get a better idea of how this desk came together. These 2 side panels are each 30 inches deep by 26 inches wide, and the middle panel runs perpendicular to the outer panels. This one is made from 2 5-inch boards that are each 30 inches long. Here I'm using dominoes for alignment, but I could get away without using them because the glue here is strong enough to hold everything together. They just help me save some time when I'm sanding later on. The next day the glue had dried and I can give them a light sanding before adding some India ink to stain them black. Now I probably should have waited to stain the panels because of all the sanding I still had to do, but oh well. You'll see what I mean here in a bit. With the panels done, I secured them to my X-Carve to cut out the design. Speaking of, I drew up this mountain design in SketchUp and then imported the SVG files directly into Easel. Easel is very easy and intuitive to use, and it makes doing a design like this simple for a CNC novice like myself. It may not seem that way to some of you, but trust me, I'm still learning. I drilled a hole through the groove so I could add these LED strips that have a peel and stick adhesive backing. And this LED kit I'm using requires no soldering. It also has the ability to link 2 strips to 1 controller. I'll leave a link for it and everything else I use down below. To cover and diffuse the LEDs, I'm using TotalBoat's 2-to-1 epoxy, and the first 2 layers that I pour are going to be clear. I poured these a little less than 1/4 inch deep and waited about an hour between the 2 pours. Once the clear layers were in, I mixed another batch of epoxy and added some of this white pigment. This goes on as the final layer, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and it diffuses the LEDs, but still allows enough light to shine through. After a day, the epoxy was cured enough to sand away all the excess, and you can see here why it was pointless to add the India ink earlier, but oh well. Luckily enough, it was easy to fix. Next, I cut out this recess for the wireless charging unit over on the X-Carve. Now it's time to put this desk all together, and again, I'm using dominoes for alignment. At first I thought I would be able to glue these 3 panels together by linking several pipe clamps, but as you can see, this only caused the top to bow upward. So on to plan B, and I added some pocket holes to the underside. The top went together without any more issues, but I did have this small gap to fill. I used some glue, mixed in a little sawdust, and then rubbed that mixture down into the gap. And once it was dry, you could barely tell it was even there. I used my track saw to square up the ends and then came back with a router to add a round over to the edges of the desktop. To build a computer stand, I cut down some more maple and resawed this board into 2 pieces. I used the X-carve again to cut in a recess that the base of the computer will fit down into. The top cover of the stand gets 9 of these recesses cut in that are for SD card storage. I put the stand together by pre-drilling, gluing, and screwing the top to the base. I set the computer down into the groove and then added this other board, which covers the computer for an almost seamless look. Next, for finish, I added 4 coats of this Total Boat varnish. Now, I spend a lot of time working at my desk, so I wanted something extra durable and something that was going to be easy to clean. This is the wireless charging unit, which I held in place in the recess with some hot glue. Then I added this block of wood, and last I added this cover. The base of this desk is an IKEA Bacant Series sit-stand desk base, and I've got to say, I'm really impressed with how solid and sturdy this thing is. The desktop gets held in place with some lag screws, and the mounting bracket holes are cut wide, and this is going to allow for some wood movement. I also added this power strip to the underside and secured it with some hot glue and this metal strap. The switch just plugs in and then gets screwed flush to the front of the desk. All the cords get routed through this cable management and then attached to the underside with this metal strap. So I dreamt up this dream desk and then made it a reality, and I really love the way it came out and all the features. Now, if you're at all interested in getting an X-carve or learning about CNC, I encourage you to get into Inventables' free software easel, play around with it, and see what you can create. All right, thanks guys. I want to take a second to thank all my Patreon supporters for supporting this channel, especially Brian of Bike City Woodworks, Ethan of Ethan Carter Designs, Brendan Grover, Made by Laurent, Adam of Rich 17 Designs, and Mark Karen. I can't thank you all enough for supporting what I do, and if you want to find out how you can help keep the lights on at Johnny Builds, there's a link down below. Okay, thanks everybody. Let me know down in the comments below what you would do different and what you would want in your own dream desk. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next time.